Welcome back to Unbiased and Unbossed. There is a TikToker who goes by the name of a Barbie Life 2.0. She has shared countless of experiences with colorism from black men on social media and in her personal life. Colorism is one of the biggest issues impacting black women, possibly more so than racism. I have done 3 videos of black men who have engaged in colorism and boasted about it on social media. People act as if this is just superficial. It's not. Colorism has had a negative impact on black women's representation in the media and has led to our erasure. I'm going to let you hear her stories and then come back with my final opinion.
Y'all, tell me why my ex-friend let her boyfriend kick me out his party because I was too dark. And before you ask, yes, she was. So we're going to call this girl Fakey. So this girl was the type of girl to appropriate black culture and fetishize black men. But I went to a predominantly white school, so stuff like that was very normalized. So me and her are texting one day, and she's like, hey girl, my boyfriend's throwing a party, like, you should pull up. So I'm like, yeah, sure, like, let's go. So at the time, I didn't have a car, but she said that I could go to her house and her boyfriend would pick us up from there. So her boyfriend arrives at her house, and we both get in the car. So I'm in the back seat and she's in the front, and they both just silently whisper to each other. But I didn't really think nothing of it, so I just let it slide. So we get to the party and her boyfriend's homeboys are in the living room. So they all start laughing and they're like, oh nah, Fakey, like you really brought her, like oh nah. So I felt really uncomfortable and confused. Next thing you know, Fakey just leaves me alone for the rest of the party. But I try to enjoy myself anyways. So I go to the table to grab myself a drink. And her boyfriend goes up to me. He's like, you can't touch that. And I was like, isn't this a party? I just seen so many people come over to this table and take a drink. So he's like, they could take a drink, but you not doing that though. So at this point, I'm confused, but I'm like, maybe everybody chipped in for alk and I just didn't know about it. I don't know. So I go to my friend and I'm like, hey girl, can I chip in for the alcohol because I want to have some? And she's like, girl, you don't need to chip in. Like, it's for everybody. So I'm like, your boyfriend just told me I couldn't take a drink. And she's like, oh, I don't know. I just took some. And the other girls she's with are like, yeah, we just took some. So I'm like, I'm really confused. So at this point, I'm like, I'm gonna go get myself a drink because he's not about to tell me that I can't get a drink yet. All these other girls didn't chip in and they took a drink. So I go by the table again and he's like, oh nah, you gotta go. And I'm like, why do I have to leave? So he was like, you just black as fuck. Like, I'm not really trying to have those type of girls at my party right now. I was like, excuse me? And he was like, you know, my homies just want to get put on tonight and shit. And like, you not really the type of girl that they be fucking with. Like, you just gotta go. Like, find your way home or something. But you gotta get out. So I'm like, bro, you're not for real. Like, you are not for real. So I go to Fakey and I'm like, girl, your boyfriend just told me to get out the party because I'm too dark. And she's like, girl, like, I don't know what you want me to do about that. Like, I don't really know what you want me to do about that. So at this point, I'm so fed up. So I just leave. So from that night, I never talked to that girl ever again. Moral of the story, stay away from fake allies. I'm about to tell y'all about the time this guy stopped talking to me because he said it was too embarrassing to be seen with me because I was dark and that I smelled too African. Yes, you heard me. He said I smelled too African. So as you know, I went to a PWI, and this kid was actually mixed race, black and white. We're going to call him Kufa. So me and Kufa had started talking, and I really liked Kufa. But when I would see him in school, he would kind of be very distant around his friends, and I always ignored it. And me and him were both on the track team together. And someone had made an ignorant joke about how it was really hot and sunny outside and I should go inside because I'm going to get black as hell. And he was laughing with them. So I felt so embarrassed. And later that night, I went off on him. And I told him, as the man that I'm talking to, you shouldn't be laughing when people make fun of my skin complexion. And he proceeded to tell me that he was embarrassed to say that he even talks to me because I'm very dark. And then he told me he couldn't talk to me anymore because I smell too African. So I proceeded to ask him, you've never said this to me before and you've been talking to me for months. So I'm really confused on how now I smell too African to be around. And he was like, I don't know, I just can't talk to you no more. Like, you just smell too African. It's embarrassing. We're not for each other, blah, blah, blah. And from that day forward, I was scarred for life and very scared to date black men. Not gonna cancel me, but today marks the day that I will be dating outside of my race. And I know what you're about to say. Aren't you pro-black? I am. But as a dark-skinned black woman, the most hate I get is from my own men. And me restricting myself to only dating black men is giving me little to no options. Because there's only like a small group of black men who actually like women like me. And trust me, I've been trying to educate black men about colorism, futurism, texturism my whole damn life. I do it on my platform every day. But a lot of them choose to stay dense and ignorant. And I'm sorry, but you're not about to ask me to wait for these men to stop being colorist. I cannot wait any longer for these men to stop the self-hatred. I want to go where I'm wanted. I'm tired of sitting in places where I'm not wanted and try to convince the people that I should be desired. I'm sorry, but I'm done with that. So from this day forward, Shakira will be looking outside of her race when it comes to dating. Not saying I'm not going to date black men. I definitely will. But to expand my options, yes, I will be dating outside of my race. Unapologetically. Thank you very much. I'm not even looking for sympathy with this video, but please stop what you're doing and listen to this. So I'm a pro-black content creator on TikTok, and a few weeks ago, I made a post saying that I would date outside of my race. I still said I would still date black men, just additionally dating outside of my race. Ever since then, I have been bashed, attacked, and harassed by black men. They have literally made spam accounts harassing me in my DMs. They have made posts about me spreading lies. They have found out my address and found out my mother's name and have threatened to hurt my mother, have threatened to find my sister in her school and hurt her. They have told me to watch out when I leave my house because they are gonna quote unquote end me. They have told me to kill myself or they will do it for me. I honestly have lost 13 pounds in the past 2 weeks because my anxiety has been super high. And I literally can't fathom the fact that I feel more in danger from my own men than any other group. And the people who are supposed to protect me are the ones who are literally trying to, and I quote, kill me. And every time I speak up about this and I get emotional, people tell me that I'm too sensitive. And I think you guys forget that people who are content creators are still human. We have feelings. We are like famous people. They're everyone who is known, content creator, all of that, we are still human. I don't know why you guys think that we are just brick walls that are going to be unbruised after you literally show so much hate and threaten our lives. So I'm really just begging y'all to please stop, because you're not only putting me in danger, you're putting my family in danger. And it's really not that deep. A black woman who is dating all races is really not that deep for you guys to go to this level and do this. I'm sorry the post blew up. It wasn't meant for everybody. I was speaking to my followers only. I didn't expect it to blow up, but you guys are taking it so far, and I'm really just exhausted. I'm tired. I'm depressed. My anxiety's high, and I just feel in so much danger. I can't even leave my house, and I'm at a loss for words because I really was not expecting this, especially from black men.
As someone from the older generation, I never really experienced colorism to the extent that the younger generation is experiencing it now via romantic relationships and in my personal interactions. With that said, I have definitely experienced the fake white woman ally who's just interested in satisfying her sexual kinks with a black man and creating that mixed race aesthetic, that she will say and do anything to befriend you, only to co-opt your culture, which is black culture, and to use it as a token to get into a culture that she has historically discriminated against. White women are very savvy with the way that they use their sex appeal to not only get the black man, but to get into spaces and positions that were created for specifically black women. And they do that a lot with black culture. Social media shows that to us every day. With that said, I understand why the younger generation is now expanding their options. I think we all need to do that. The fact that this young woman was pro-black and then had all of these experiences with black men and told everyone that, and when she comes to social media to say, hey, I've now opened my options to other groups of men, this is how she's treated. You bully her and belittle her, stalk and harass her. If I was her, I would have done this. Colorism is real and is becoming more impactful than just racism. Get in the comment section, tell me what you thought about this video. If you haven't already, go follow A Barbie Life 2.0. Thanks for watching.